Welcome back to this week's training vlog. So this week is all about just building some momentum of training, so putting out the fires and then trying to get back on track to making some progress. So not much preamble, so let's just get into it. Okay, so I think the last few weeks have been a great example of highlighting the struggles of being a weightlifter and kind of how difficult it can be to put it together. But I feel like that is intrinsically part of weightlifting in terms of you're constantly fighting fires for the entirety of your weightlifting career. If you want to improve, different things come up at all times and you just have to react fairly organically. You have to be fluid with them. You just got to fix those issues. Be very, very calm about it. You know, be like a monk. Just be rational. Be very, very calm. Not emotionally attached. Just look at your issues, fix them, and then have immense patience, but then attack everything you're supposed to do with some serious ferocity. You know, like for example, my fires were not really technical issues. Rather, I just had knee issues, a hamstring, and then a bit of wrist issues. So these are just things that always pop up in weightlifting. Literally, no matter how old you are, how long you've been training, from day one, this is what weightlifting is like, and you just gotta learn to be very, very calm and rational about it. So the last couple of weeks, so since I kind of left the prep phase and moved into the actual training block, I had a good run for the first 2 or 3 weeks, and then I had a couple of weeks, as you know, from, you know, just issues that didn't allow me to train fully. But I think you kind of got a good example of me just kind of calmly trying to address them. So my knees are a lot better, my hamstrings are a lot better, and hopefully they'll both stay a lot better. Last week I got a little bit of wrist issues, but nothing major. It was just quite sore for a few days. So this week now was really about just getting a couple of sessions in a row, doing a lot of like practicing the skill of weightlifting. So my strength, luckily for me, I was able to keep pushing my strength. So what you saw in this session, so this is like day 1 of 3 in these vlogs, right? So first session, a lot of snatching. I didn't actually capture the clean and jerks. I must have forgotten to, but it was up to 120 for a couple of reps, a couple of doubles, and then 2 or 3 singles. Moved on then to clean and jerks. I literally did 4 to 5 doubles at 120. Now we're watching the back squats. So I did 240 for a 2x2. These are moving quite nice. A little bit, not fatigued, but I'm not as fresh when I do the lifts beforehand. It affects me quite a lot for some reason. So 240, 2x2. Second set, I was like, no, this can be actually a little bit faster. So I pushed a little bit better with the speed. So nice and easy. I could have done a couple of maybe 4 to 5 doubles, but 2x2 was enough for me, to be honest. It's solid weight and it moves easy, so no reason to change what I'm doing right now. So second day then was kind of the off day, or not the off day, but rather the not snatch clean jerk day as I describe it. So something I've discovered from my own training is that low hang snatches and snatch high pulls benefit my snatch quite a bit. So I haven't been doing those, so I wasn't doing those for the last 3 or 4 weeks. They're kind of a skill reinforcement thing for me rather than a kind of strength builder as such. So you kind of you fall in and out of favor of skills, especially in weightlifting, if you don't practice them a lot. So this day I just did them quite light. So I did some snatch, high pull plus low hang snatches. I literally went to 90 kilos. So I just wanted to practice the skill of doing the low hangs. It helps me get a better position when I'm just below the knee. And then the snatch high pulls are something that are good for me to be. You might remember a couple of months ago I was talking about working on a much straighter extension, and the snatch high pulls do let me practice that, and they also practice and letting me move the bar backwards off the ground. So this kind of in between day, so this was straight after the day you saw where I did the snatches, clean jerks and squats. So this day then was snatch, low hang snatch, pulls. So I did a good few sets of 19, I think 100 kilos for the low hang, or for the high snatch high pulls. And then because I haven't been able to do heavy deadlifts, and I'm not gonna do them yet, so probably next week I will begin to do heavy deadlifts, but I wanted to practice that knee position. So I also did some clean pulls to above the knee. So normally I wouldn't do, it's kind of strange to do 2 different like snatch and clean pulls and workout, but there were issues I wanted to address and kind of the circumstances. It's kind of important, like I mentioned, to be fluid with addressing your issues and not be stuck in some kind of dogma in kind of training sessions, you know. So I did those, and then that was it for that session. Then moved on to the next session. So as I mentioned, I'm trying to get a bit of momentum going, get a lot of training volume in. So by this third day I was quite tired after the 2 days of training. So I lighted myself basically up to 110, so I was going to do my working sets. But then actually it turned out quite good after a lot of sets of 110. So then I moved up 120s. We're quite happy with these. They're not as skillful as I'd like, but it's getting better. I was quite fatigued, but the power was there, so I was quite happy with that. I could have left it and gone home, but that was not something I wanted to do, so I did 2 doubles at 120. Here's me lying on the ground. Next double at 125, quite good. Quite happy with these. Cutting my pull a little bit short than these, but a small bit from fatigue. Then 130 for a double. Pretty happy with this. Again, this was quite good. And then I could have left it there, okay? But for me, mentally, it was kind of a battle that I wanted to do, is I wanted to double 135 because I haven't done that in the actual training block. So you might remember from the GPP block, I tripled 135, but I haven't done that in a while. So I wanted to do a double 135. It was a little bit scaldy, but the reps before 30 were good, so I was happy to give 130, 135 that mentally for me, rather than I can clean up the technique, but something I wanted to do that week given the last few weeks. So then the next day, straight after this, then I did pause snatches at the knee, so I just want to reinforce some positions. You can see, I don't know if you noticed, but my stability is improving after a few days of snatching, clean and jerking. So that's usually your kind of coordination and stability are pretty strongly linked. So that was something that deteriorates quite fast, is your stability with your coordination when you're practicing snatches. So then I moved on to, I just wanted to do these before the clean and jerks. So I did like 4 sets, barely pausing, but it was good for me just to kind of practice those positions. You can see I'm a little bit more rigid in the pull. The clean and jerk was not as rigid, and it's something I need to kind of add it back in, those heavy deadlifts, but I'm not right now, just to be safe. So for this session, there wasn't really any point in me doing more volume at 120, 130. They're not really heavy weights for me, so I needed to do something slightly heavier. The technique in these, again, I'm kind of lacking that rigidity from not heavy deadlifts and not doing a lot of heavy clean and jerks in the last few weeks. So these, as you know, weightlifting skills come and go quite fast. So I'm quite happy I wanted to get 150 tonight, or sorry, on this particular night. So this is 140. They're not bad, but they've been a lot better recently. I've been a lot more control in the bar. I've been able to put a lot more force into the barbell. So then I did 2 singles 150. So there's the first one. So the weight moves easy. I'm standing up very well. It's just the technique is not there. I'm not rigid. I'm not powerful. I'm not aggressively pulling under the bar. But again, I suppose this is what I'm mentioning. I need to practice these, and then that rigidity and kind of force will come back. So there's the second 150. A little bit better. Not great. It's an easy weight, but it's not as good as I should be, and I'm not that happy with them. But I'm happy to have got them done, so it's part of what I needed to do. And then that was it. So thanks for watching, guys. I appreciate all the views and everything, the vlogs and the comments and likes, and it really means a lot to me. Thanks, guys. Bye.